Thanks for joining us. I'm Tracey Christensen, your host on Community Connection. Utah is a state that is rich in history as well as natural beauty. I'm joined today by Clive Romney from the Pioneer Mormon National Heritage Area to tell us about some of Utah's most historical and beautiful places. Welcome, Clive.
Thank you.
I don't think I said it right, but let's talk about the Mormon Pioneer National Heritage Area.
You did it. You got it right.
What is it? Where is it?
It's a 6-county area, 250 miles long, in central and southern Utah that includes Sanpete, Sevier, Paiute, Wayne, Garfield, and Kane counties, and 5 separate areas called Little Denmark, Sevier Valley, then the headwaters, because it's the watershed for most of southern and central Utah's water, then under the rim, because it's along the rim of the Colorado Plateau, and then finally the Boulder Loop, Highway 12, which is an all-American scenic byway, incredible vistas. You have to travel that. But the Mormon Pioneer National Heritage Area was created by Congress in 2006 as a national heritage area to preserve, interpret, promote, and enhance the pioneer heritage in those areas, those 6-county areas.
And so you're involved in this organization as well as the Pioneer Arts.
Yes, my organization is actually Utah Pioneer Heritage Arts, but we have become the interpretive affiliate of the Mormon Pioneer National Heritage Area. Our focus is narrow just on the interpretation, the stories, whereas theirs is broader on both the preservation, interpretation, promotion, and enhancement of those areas.
And what are some of your favorite stories?
Oh my goodness. How long do we have?
Probably not long enough.
One of my favorites is the Panguitch Quilt Walk. In 1864, pioneers were sent eastward over the old Spanish Trail from Parowan to establish a settlement they named Panguitch. In the early days of that, they didn't realize how short the growing season was. So that first year, when they were hit by an early killing frost and heavy deep snow, it killed all of their wheat crop. They tried harvesting the immature green wheat heads, boiling and eating them. It was awful and not nourishing. Then they tried living off fish and wild game, but they couldn't get near enough to feed everybody in the settlement. So they had to send an expedition west, back over the old Spanish Trail and the 8,000-foot mountain pass, back to Parowan. And it's a long story, but they couldn't get through, and they were so frustrated and despairing that they finally determined that they needed divine help. But what led them to that point was this despair of not thinking they were ever going to be able to get there to save the people. And so this is a song, I'll just sing you the chorus of it, that these 7 men would have sung if they had known the song. But it goes like this. Won't you get us over this mountain, Lord, over this great divide? Part this frozen sea, get me and my brothers to the other side. We trusted you in coming here, so won't you make the pathway clear? Won't you get us over this mountain, Lord? Don't let our journey end here, etc.
I love it.
But it just shows how much they wanted to be successful at this, and yet how despairing they were of ever being successful. So they decided they needed divine help. They climbed up out of the snow trench they'd been making, spread a quilt out over the snow, and knelt in a prayer circle and began one after another praying. And at some point in that process, one of them said, "We're not sinking through the snow as long as we're on the quilt." And so they took out multiple quilts, spread them in a line, and always pulling the rear one up to become the front one. They quilt walked over the mountain, over that snowfield to Parowan, got flour, brought it back, still walking on the quilts with 100-pound sacks of flour on their backs, all the way back to their wagon and back to Panguitch. And they saved the settlement of Panguitch.
That is an amazing story.
That's just one of many. Yeah, most people have never heard that. But they have a Quilt Walk Festival now, the second weekend of June in Panguitch, to honor those Quilt Walk pioneers. Have all kinds of food and a pageant to tell the story, and of course, lots of quilts.
Of course. We appreciate you sharing that story with us and your song, which I know you have a huge project of songs and books for telling stories from each of those counties
Yes.
in the heritage area. And will you give us the website where our viewers can look for more information?
Well, of course, you can go to the Mormon Pioneer National Heritage Area website, which is mormonpioneerheritage.org, or you can go to Utah Pioneer Heritage Arts website, which is upharts.org.
Great.
And you'll find it on there on both places.
We'll check it out. Thanks so much for being with us, Clive. So exciting to learn more about the Mormon Pioneer National Heritage Area and this great place that we live. If you want to learn more about visiting these places and taking part in some of the stories, you can visit our website, KBYU11.org, and click on the Community tab. Thanks for watching. Please join us next time on Community Connection.